Griezmann returns to Atlético Madrid, Chelsea get their player, PSG to keep Mbappé for now, and a transfer window wrap brought to you by our friends at cryptocurrency trading platform Bybit. All coming up on today's OneFootball Daily News. As I'm your host Angelina Kelly, let's get into it. So first up, and the transfer window is closed, done and dusted, and there were still quite a few dramatic transfers that revealed themselves as the clock ticked down yesterday. Arguably, the biggest one had to be Antoine Griezmann and his departure from Barcelona to make a dramatic return to Atlético Madrid. It was only 2 years ago that he actually departed from the club, and he is set to join Diego Simeone's side once again on a one-year loan with an obligation to buy for around €40 million. Griezmann did, of course, join Barcelona back in 2019 when the club triggered his release clause of €120 million. It's safe to say that it hasn't been the best move for Griezmann. You can see that his confidence has been shattered and he really has struggled to find his place in the team. However, in this new era of Barcelona without Lionel Messi, it was expected that he was going to lead the line of attack with the likes of Memphis Depay and Sergio Aguero, but seemingly that is not going to be the case. However, regarding Barcelona's attack, they have of course brought in Luke de Jong from Sevilla on a season-long loan. Now, he's only scored 19 goals in his last 2 seasons, so I'm not too sure that he's going to be replacing a massive chunk of goals that the likes of Lionel Messi did provide, but with Sergio Aguero injured, I guess he is a good option for them to bring in. For Barcelona, losing Griezmann is probably the best outcome for them, as of course we all know that they have been having financial difficulties, that they have been struggling to conform with La Liga's salary caps, and they did need to get a few players off the books regarding their salaries. With Griezmann making the move to Atlético Madrid, they of course will be paying his salary now, and this will be a massive help. But you can't help but wonder, if Atlético Madrid had made this play for Griezmann earlier on in the season, would Barcelona have been able to have kept Lionel Messi? Regarding Lionel Messi, I'm not too sure how much Griezmann's move would have played in the situation, as of course there were other contributing factors. However, for Barcelona fans, this must be quite frustrating. Whether fans loved or hated Griezmann, this is the second season in a row now that Barcelona have sold one of their expensive players to Atlético Madrid. Of course, it was Luis Suarez last year. He was such a massive impact at the club, especially with them lifting that La Liga title. And now they have Griezmann back. Of course, during his time with Atlético Madrid previously, he made over 200 appearances, scored over 120 goals. So if he does manage to find his form, have Barcelona actually given Atlético Madrid a huge boost when it comes to defending that La Liga title? Next up, and Atlético Madrid only managed to make the move for Antoine Griezmann because they have managed to offload Saúl Ñíguez to Chelsea. Yes, the team have got their player on a season-long loan with an option to buy for €40 million. Now, of course, some Atlético Madrid fans will be sad to see Saúl go. He was arguably a vital cog in the machine since he made his debut back in 2012 when he was just 17 years of age. Since then, he's made over 300 appearances for the team, and even last season, he actually made over 30 appearances, but it seemed like both the player and the club had come to an agreement that it was time for him to move on. Now, regarding the move to Chelsea, he does tend to play in more central midfield and defensive midfield roles. When you think about the London team, they do tend to have those areas of the pitch covered, especially when you think about the likes of Jorginho and N'Golo Kante. So it will be very interesting to see where Thomas Tuchel does play Saúl and how much game time he will realistically get. Of course, he was also linked with Manchester United. It seemed like they probably had more space in their roster to fit in Saúl, but they, of course, were a little bit too busy making an offer, allegedly, for Kieran Trippier of around £18 million, which was rejected. So regarding Chelsea, looking at their transfer window, they end it on quite a good high. I mean, they've already brought in some great players that have enhanced an already very impressive team, and they arguably have got to be one of, if not the favourite to win the Premier League this season, looking at the team and how they've already been performing. But unfortunately for Chelsea, one player that they have seemingly lost out on, for now at least, is Sevilla defender Joules Koundé. Of course, Sevilla were apparently very firm on the fact that they wanted around €80 million for the player. Seemingly, Sevilla and Chelsea could not come to an agreement, so like I say, they have not signed the player, but according to reports, they may try and go for him again in January. So So next up, and PSG. Lionel Messi, Sergio Ramos, Gigi Wijnaldum, Gianluigi Donnarumma, Achraf Hakimi, the list goes on. They have had such an impressive transfer window, and as the window is now closed, they will be keeping Kylian Mbappé for now at least, and they have actually managed to make one more final signing. So regarding the Kylian Mbappé situation, Real Madrid reportedly did come in with a fresh offer for the player of around 220 million euros. This was unsuccessful, and what this now means, as stated on yesterday's Daily News, is that Real Madrid will probably wait until January and sign Mbappé on a pre-contract agreement to bring him into the club next season. And regarding that last and final signing for PSG, they are bringing in Sporting Lisbon's Nuno Mendes on a season-long loan with a 40 million euro option to buy. And heading in the opposite direction will be Pablo Sarabia. Now, he did impress at Euro 2020 with Spain, but seemingly doesn't have a place in Mauricio Pochettino's plans this season, so here's hoping that his loan is a success. So regarding PSG and their transfer window, has it been a success? 100% absolutely. But regarding the Mbappé situation, can they consider that a success? I'm not too sure. I mean, on one hand, they get to keep Mbappé for another season. That's another season of great goals and great performances. And also, I guess it does give them time to potentially plan for a replacement for Mbappé for next season. And also, if PSG do have a really good season, say they win the Champions League, for example, they may believe that this could be a reason to convince Mbappé to stay. But if he does still want to go to Real Madrid, the negative side of this is that he will of course be departing next summer on a free, and PSG will not get a single penny for the player. And last but not least, we have our transfer window wrap, brought to you by our friends at cryptocurrency trading platform Bybit. And first up, during the final hours of the transfer window, reportedly West Ham were interested in bringing in Jesse Lingard from Manchester United, but the club were allegedly reluctant to pay the £25 million price tag that Manchester United had set for the player. And speaking of the Red Devils, their player Anthony Martial was allegedly offered a move to Lyon, but apparently the player himself did reject it. And speaking of Lyon, they are set to announce the signing of free agent Jerome Boateng. And finally, Takahiro Tomiyasu is officially an Arsenal player. He has made a permanent move to the club, so a bit of good news for Arsenal. Meanwhile, Hector Bellerin did depart from the club on a loan to Real Betis. So that's it for today's OneFootball Daily News. As always, thank you for watching. Check out all the other content that we've got here, and I will see you all later.